Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video the Premier League is nearly here, the new season, and in today's video I'm going to give you my Premier League predictions for this season from 1 to 20, obviously going from bottom to top because, you know what I mean, people who do that, like, get out of here. But anyways, we're going to do it, but before we do get into it, please make sure you like and subscribe. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers, so please make it happen. We get so close now. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. In 20th place, this will be a surprise to people, but I'm actually going to go with Ipswich Town. I actually think Ipswich will finish bottom. Now, I think Ipswich, look, they've got a couple of... Look, the thing with Ipswich, last time they came up, they were the only newly promoted team that sort of, they did all right. Like, they were the only ones that had an existing presence, and you actually had to, you know what I mean? Like, they actually would try and beat you. But yeah, I think last time they had, you know, Delap and Samodics and Hutchinson and Kieran McKenna, but I just don't think they're going to be strong enough this time. They're missing out on goals, and I think they're going to finish bottom. I think they've made a couple of good signings. I mean, Issa Diop from Fulham's a good signing for them, but I just don't think they're going to be good enough. I think they're finishing 20th. 19th place, I'll go with Hull City. I think Hull City, a lot of people have put Hull City bottom. I think Hull City will finish 19th. I think they'll just have a little bit more than Ipswich. I think Ipswich will finish 20th. Hull will finish 19th. Ipswich were in the Premier League a couple of seasons ago. Teams will know how to dispatch them already, right? Hull City, they have a bit of unexpectedness, a bit of a surprise. They have not been in the league for 10 years. But I do think they're not going to have enough. I mean, they've got the Premier League experience up front, you know, with Ollie McBurley, but I just don't think they're going to be good enough. And last season, if you look at their stats, I mean, how they got promoted to the Premier League is a miracle. But they're going to go down. Hull City 19th. Now let's get on to the actual ones here. 18th place. This is so tough. But for me personally, this could be a huge surprise. I've actually got Fulham going down. I actually think Fulham are going to get relegated. Fulham, right? Harry Wilson and Raul Jimenez are two huge losses, right? Huge losses. And Jimenez, Jesus Christ, I thought a pigeon was just going to come through, just fly through here. Yeah, so I think that Raul Jimenez, I mean, and Harry Wilson, 19 goals between them in the Premier League last season. Yeah, not goal contributions, actual goals. And Raul Jimenez is such a good player, such a good striker, Premier League proven striker, has been doing it for years. I mean, they've brought in Gonzalo Garcia, but I just don't think that he's going to do it enough. And obviously Marco Silva's another huge loss. He was the one that kept them consistently in the Premier League, because before that they were up and down. But for me, Fulham are going down 18th. In at 17th, just surviving, I've got Brentford. I think Brentford are bang average, if I'm being honest with you. Last season, if it wasn't for Chelsea underachieving, Tottenham underachieving, Newcastle underachieving, I think that Brentford would have been, you know what I mean? But the thing with Brentford is, Brentford are, look, last season, if you look at most of their goals they came from Igor Thiago with 22 goals. I don't think he's that good of a player, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's all that. As a finisher, one of the best in world football right now. One of the best in world football. But in terms of his all-round play as a striker, he is bang average. He's championship level as a footballer, in my opinion. I think he's championship level. I think on his day he can be a very good, a big threat. And obviously the 22 goals is really good, especially for Brentford. But for me personally, if you look at the rest of his all-round play, we saw it at the World Cup. Brazil, he was terrible. He had a terrible World Cup. Cunha came into the team and they were playing well because Cunha can adapt to the system. Thiago can't because he's very limited, in my opinion. And he's able, you've got to be able to bring others into play, you know, your Jardas, your Carvalhos. In this Brentford system, you've got to be able to do that. And if you can't do that, then you're in trouble, right? And I think Henderson, losing him as well, the experience, they're going to struggle. And Thiago, I think teams will work him out, be able to keep him out games, the goals dry up, and I think Brentford are really going to struggle. But I do think they'll just about stay up. 16th, Newcastle United. Newcastle United are in trouble, I think. Newcastle, right? I think Newcastle are lucky that 2 of the newly promoted teams are going to go straight back down. They're as bad as they are. But Newcastle United, the amount of players they've lost, yeah? Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, the core of the team, Anthony Gordon as well, right? But the thing is, right, I don't think Anthony Gordon is actually going to be that much of a big miss. They've got other players that can play there. Harvey Barnes, Elanga, Murphy. I think they brought in another kid as well. It's the midfield is the main problem. Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes are the core of the team. Losing them is huge. They need to bring in a midfielder, right? Have to bring in a midfielder. Because the things with this Newcastle team is they're never able to replace. They always have to replace instead of strengthen the team. Because no one, it's a club that no one seems to have any faith in or wants to be a part of. And I think that Newcastle are going to struggle. But the thing is, I think with Newcastle, Brentford and Fulham are all going to be quite close together. But I do think Newcastle, the only reason they're going to survive, I think, is because I think their defence is strong enough. I think they'll concede less goals, and that's going to be the thing that keeps them up. Because I think their defence is still pretty strong. 15th. I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest, losing Elliot Anderson is huge. But I think they'll be alright. I think they've got a good squad. Forest still. I mean, I think same reasons as Newcastle why they'll stay. Their defence is strong. Murillo, Milenkovic. They've got a very strong defence. And I think they're quite good going forward. I think, Vitor Pereira, I think he could suit them quite well, to be honest. I mean, look at what they were doing at the end of last season. They were playing so much better. So I think they'll be alright. I think they just got to try and bring more players into the team. 14th. In at 14th. 14th I'm going with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, for me, personally, I think that they've lost their defence. They're going to have struggles with defence. Yeah, they need to bring in more centre-backs. Because Lacroix and Gahey in the same, 6 months, about that. Because they've lost Lacroix and Gahey, their 2 main centre-halves, in the same 6 or 7 months. Come on, man. And, I think that they have quality in other areas, but they need to fix that defence up. I think, Dean Henderson, Munoz, they've got a good team still. Wharton, Kamada, Mateta, Sarr, they've got a good squad still, but I think they just need to strengthen that defence to make sure they don't concede as many goals. But I think Palace will be alright. I think they're trying to get Disasi or one of Chelsea centre-backs. They probably will do. But yeah, I think Palace will finish 14th. I'll be alright. 13th, I'm going to go with Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will be alright. I think Bournemouth, look, they've lost Iraola, who's a massive loss for them. But I think their squad's good enough to stay up. I mean, if you look at some of the players they've got, Krupi, Rayan, Alex Scott, and I think there's areas they can improve, and European football's going to be tough for them. And I think their squad's quite small, and Iraola leaving them, and I think they need more goals in that team. Because, I mean, Evan Nilsson is not exactly your guy, is he? I think he's, when he's on it, he's very good, but Evan Nilsson, he's not consistent enough. But I think Bournemouth will be alright. I think Bournemouth will finish 13th. 12th, I'm going with Sunderland. Same reasons as Bournemouth, but the only thing, I think Sunderland might have a slightly bigger squad and might be able to manage it a bit more. They have more goals as well in the team with Isidore and Brobby. Talby looks really good. They've got a very strong team. I think if they can add a couple of players to it, I think they'll have no problems at all. I mean, I think that Reggie Labrie is a great manager. Great first season for Sunderland. I don't think they'll be able to have as good a season as he did last season, because I think they finished... Well, they finished last season. They finished 7th last season, didn't they? I think so. So I think that Sunderland will struggle, but I think that they'll be strong enough, and I don't see them slipping too far down the table. In at 11th. In at 11th, you're going to murder me for this. Coventry. I think Coventry are going to finish 11th. Massively going to overachieve, right? I think that Coventry have such a high ceiling. They've got such a good team. With the players they've got, I mean, I think Haji Wright is brilliant. Ellis Sims, I mean, is a really good player. There's so many good players in that team. The goalkeeper, Van Ewijk, or however the heck you pronounce his name, because I do not have a clue how you pronounce it. I've absolutely butchered that. There's no way I pronounce it correctly. And I think, yeah, and Frank Lampard is actually quite a good manager. I think he did well for Everton. I don't think he got enough of a chance for Everton. If you remember the first time at Chelsea, I thought he was really good before, the ludicrous ownership. I think the second time he was in charge of Chelsea, I don't think we can really talk about that too much, because the owners were absolutely ridiculously bad at that point, and they set him up for failure. Because in his first season under Abramovich, he did quite well for Chelsea, got us 4th. And I think he's a great manager. I just think Coventry are going to have a great season. Yeah, if they can, I think their stadium, I'm not even going to try. I don't even know what the stadium's called, and, it's unnecessarily long. But I think that they'll have a great season. I think Coventry, that's my dark horse for this year. That's my wild prediction, 11th place, Coventry. I just think they're a really good team. On to the top half of the table now then. Here we go. In at 10th place, look, I've probably lost all of you. You're probably all unsubscribed and disliked, yeah? You probably all think I'm going mad. It's just my opinions, guys, okay? In at 10th place, I'm going with Leeds United. A lot of people have Leeds struggling and even getting relegated, as some people. But for me, Leeds United, I think they're going to have a great season. I think Leeds United, they've got a great squad. They've made some great signings. Yeah, James Trafford is a brilliant signing. Harry Wilson as well. They had a good team last season. They brought in a couple more players. I think they'll have they'll be fine. I think Leeds United. I think that Daniel Farke's a great manager as well. I think Leeds will be all right. I think, there's... Calvert-Lewin can keep doing what he's doing. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they'll have any problems. I think Leeds United finish in 10th. And at 9th, I've got Everton. Everton 9th. I think Everton are... for me, personally, I think that Everton are... they're... I think it'll be a similar season to last season. I think they've got a good squad, and they've brought in some good players as well. In Tyreek George, Norgard's come in, Brennan Johnson's come in, which is the most pointless transfer in history, to be honest. They've also signed Hayden Hackney from Middlesbrough, so I think Everton will be all right. And I think Everton, their squad is really good. They've got great young players in there with Branthwaite, who's I think is going to have a great season this year. And I think, in my opinion, probably should have been in the England squad. That's another hot take. I think he should have been in the England squad. I think he's a great centre-back. And Barry as well, young players. Barry, they've got Ndai and Beto. They've got a strong squad. Brennan Johnson and Dwight McNeil, that swap deal was the most dumb thing in football history, to be honest, in the history of transactions. Why? It's the most pointless thing ever. It's like me going into the street and asking a kid, if you give me a tenner, I'll give you a tenner. What is the point? There is no point, okay? Yeah, just let them... Yeah, why? It's the most random transfer of all time. But But yeah, Everton I think will be fine. Everton in 9th. 8th place. 8th, I'm going to go with Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa are going to drop off a little bit. They've lost some players. I mean Tielemans, Rodgers, 2 huge losses for them. And I think that they've made some signings that have, but I think that they're going to struggle a bit. I think Unai Emery's a great manager, and I think they still could get Europe or even Champions League. And I could think they got Champions League again. They've got to try and balance that again. I think they're going to really struggle this season. Well, they're not going to struggle, but I do think that European football, losing 2 of their best players, is going to have a huge impact on them. So I think Aston Villa are going to finish 8th. Although I do think they'll still have a fairly decent season. And I mean, look, I think bringing in Garnacho, I think if there's any club where Garnacho could get back to his best, I think it's Aston Villa. Because I think Unai Emery's a great manager, and I think he can get the best out of him. And I think Garnacho at a smaller club works better for him because, he can more focus on his football. But yeah, I think Villa in 8th. 7th place. 7th, I've got Tottenham Hotspur. I think Tottenham Hotspur have made some good signings. Like Tonali, Fernandes, 2 midfielders. And their defence is looking stronger. Senesi, Van Hecke. They've got rid of Romero, which I think is actually good for them because I think he's so overrated. I don't rate him at all. Robertson as well. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll do much better than last season. De Zerbi is a good manager, and I think he'll steady the ship there. The only problem with Tottenham, though, the only reason why I haven't got them higher is because I think that the only problem with Tottenham is I don't see where they're going to score goals. I know Richarlison, if Kudus can get back to what he was doing at West Ham, and if Kulusevski can actually, maybe ever get back in this team, you never know. And obviously Solanke, I don't know what happened to him, but I just don't see where the goals are going to come from for Tottenham. I just genuinely think that I think that's going to be the only problem for them. I think that's why they're going to Xavi Simons' ACL injury as well. I do think they're not going to score enough goals, and that's going to be the problem. But I think Europa League for Tottenham. 6th place, I'm going with Brighton. I think Brighton are going to have a great season. I think Brighton, they've got a very strong team. Losing Danny Welbeck, you've lost some goals in there. But I think Brighton will be able to replace him with the business that we've seen them do before. And if the other players they have can step up, your Matomas, Rudiger, Minte, if these players can step up, I don't see them having too many problems. And I think, because Danny Welbeck had his best goal-scoring season last season. But Brighton, I think they can easily replace him. They didn't get Europe, did they? They didn't get Europe. Did they get Europe? Did they get Conference League? Did Brighton get Conference League? I don't even know. Because Sunderland and Bournemouth got Europa League. I can't remember who got Conference League. I think it was Brighton that got Conference League. I don't actually know. Someone let me know in the comments. I think Brighton finished Conference League, didn't they? I don't know, but I think that Brighton. I think that some of the centre back, their defence is losing Van Hecke as well. To be fair, is also going to be a big loss because I think he's a great defender for them. But from what I've seen from Brighton, they're able to just bring players in who just slot into the team and do really well for them. So I don't think Brighton will have too many problems. I think that Brighton are going to have a good season. Brighton finished 6th, get Europa League. 5th, top 5. In at 5th, I'm going with Liverpool. I think Liverpool will finish 5th. I think that they've not been good enough in this transfer market. They've not done enough. I mean, they've signed a Araujo on loan from Barcelona. They signed someone else as well, didn't they? But, I mean, if they can get Barcola, I think that they can push for a title charge, potentially, or thereabouts. Iraola coming in, good manager. But I think it'll take him a bit of time to adapt. So I think that Liverpool, this is more of a transition season. I think next season, could be a very good season for them if they can strengthen the team even more. But, yeah, I think Liverpool... So I think they've lost players as well. Konate, losing Konate. They've lost Salah. They've lost Robertson. I mean, pre-season, they've not looked great at all. Arguing like a bunch of 5-year-olds at the end of the game. I think it was Szoboszlai and Jones and someone else. For me, come on, lads, what are you doing? Like, people saying, oh, yeah, that's a good thing. They're passionate. Like, come on. Like, it's silly. Come on. Stop, just go and just get in the shower. Like, get on the coach and go home. Stop moaning. They're acting like Chelsea whenever a penalty's given. But, yeah. I think Liverpool are going to finish 5th. I think they'll get Champions League. 4th. In at 4th place, I'm going to go with Man City. This is a toss-up between two teams, but I think Man City are going to finish 4th. I think that Maresca, it's another transition year for them without Guardiola. I do think it's going to hit them quite hard, but I do think that we sort of saw the end of Guardiola in the last 2 seasons. They still won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, but, you know, I think that they've got a very good team. I mean, they've got players, they can easily challenge for the title. I wouldn't put it past them to win the title. You know what I mean? Doku is looking even better. I mean, the end product, he's starting to adapt to his game. Semenyo, Haaland. If Foden can get back to his best, and Anderson coming in as well. It looks like they're going to sell Rodri. They've sold Reinders as well, which I don't really understand. But, you know, I think if they get Enzo, I mean, it'd be stupid, really. But, like, you know what I mean? If they bring Enzo, I think you'd make them stronger, even though that would be stupid transfer because you've already spent that much money on one midfielder. Why do you need another one? But, yeah, Man City, Man City could easily challenge, but I just think it's a transition year for them. I think Maresca might do all right. There's another video coming on Maresca soon, by the way, so stay tuned for that one. We haven't talked about Maresca yet, and I feel like I need to talk about that one. But Maresca and Man City, I think they're going to finish 4th. 3rd, I'm going with Manchester United. Now, I was going to put them 4th and Man City 3rd, but I think Man United have sort of settled down, are a bit more settled than Man City are. I think that, look, I think Man United, I don't see them at a title charge whatsoever. People are saying, oh yeah, there's a title charge for this Man United team. For me personally, yeah, look, that midfield, brilliant, could challenge for the title. Striker, the attack, yeah, good challenge, right? You ain't getting nowhere with that defence. You man getting nowhere with that defence. Unless you sort the defence out, you ain't getting nowhere. Yeah? What United need is a young centre-half who can slot along Harry Maguire. Young centre-half, fast, secure, has a bit of experience but is still young enough. And I think some of the centre-backs, they're just not good enough. You know, Martinez, he's better in a back three in my opinion. I think because he's good at sort of driving into the midfield a bit. Lenny Yoro, I don't rate at all. And I don't think he's good enough. Aiden Heaven is a bit reckless, and I think he needs to settle down a bit. I think United should loan Heaven out to either the Championship maybe, to get him some game time so he can properly, settle down and give him a bit of game time and experience. Because I think that would benefit him. And I mean, Dalot, title charge. Come on. Yeah, don't take the mickey. But I think Bruno will do very well again. Cunha and Buemo, Sesko, Rashford I think is going to do well as well. I think Man United are going to have a good season. I think European football will be a struggle for them as well though. which is why I've not got them, challenging for a title. Second place, I can't do it. I'm gonna go for Chelsea. I can't do it. I did it last year. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it. I don't have the guts. I don't have it in me to do it. I'm not doing it again. Last year I put Chelsea first and we finished 10th. I'm not doing it again. Chelsea, I think, look, Xabi Alonso is a great manager. We've got some good players as well. Morgan Rogers is a great signing. Lacroix's a great signing. Henderson and Welbeck are 2 great signings as well. Chevalier, we've replaced Cucurella. Hopefully he'll come good. Palestra. João Pedro's on smoke. Cole Palmer, I think, will get back to his best. Because, I mean, look, the thing with Cole Palmer is, if all he's got to do is get 10... If he gets 10 goals and 10 assists, he's done his job. Because... And then if João Pedro goes and scores 20 goals and Morgan Rogers chimes in with 10 goals, Cole Palmer's done his job. He's a 10. He's a creator. He's not actually supposed to be the goal scorer. Obviously, because he's a star player, you expect a bit more from him. But like, people ask too much of him, because last season he did all right. I think he had a great season last season. You know what I mean? He got injured and he was not 100% fit for pretty much the whole season, and he scored 10 goals still. He missed half the season, and the other half that he actually played in, he wasn't fit. He was in and out of the team. He wasn't fit. He wasn't 100%. He got 10 goals for us. Do you know what I mean? So I think Chelsea, we're going to finish second, and I think afterwards if we can improve, get a couple more players in, I think we'll do all right. No European football as well will help us. And then... But we will be pipped to the post by Arsenal, who are going to win it again. Arsenal's team is too strong. They're a club with ambition. Do you know what I mean? They've brought in even more players. Tozolis, and then Guimaraes. Look at midfield. Rice, Marino, Zubimendi, Skelly, Eze. What, and then you're bringing in Guimaraes? Yeah, come on, man. Like, they're going to win it. I think they are going to win it, and I really hope they don't. I detest Arsenal as a club. But they're going to do it again, I think. You know what I mean? I hope not. They've never won it back-to-back. Will they do it for the first time? I hope not. But, yeah, those are my predictions, guys. Arsenal to win the league. Now I'm going to get on to Golden Boot. So the Golden Boot, I think Erling Haaland will win it again. Erling Haaland, he's just a robot, isn't he? Top assister, I'm actually going to go with Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer will get the most assists. And then Golden Glove is going to be David Raya yet again. I think that'll be his 4th in a row. And then Player of the Season, I'm going to give Player of the Season to Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is going to have a good season. Great season. Young Player of the Season, tough. But it's going to be Rio and Gamara, I think, innit? Rio and Gamara, he's a great player. He's so talented. We should not have let him go, but yeah, he's very, very talented. Although, shout out to Esteval as well, and Osula from Newcastle. I think he might have a good season still. And signing of the season. Signing of the season, I'm going to give to... Do you know what? Signing of the season... I actually think the signing of the season... I think that... It's tough, innit? I mean... But, do you know what? Signing of the season... I might go Harry Wilson for Leeds. Or actually James Trafford for Leeds. I think James Trafford could be signing of the season for Leeds. And then, finally, flop signing... I'm going to go with Matheus Fernandes for Tottenham. I think he'll do all right still, but I do think they've overpaid for him massively, and I think he might disappoint people a little bit. But that's my predictions, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or not. You've probably still not forgiven me for the Coventry one. But, yeah, I'm going to call it a day there. Make sure you like and subscribe and try and get to 500 subscribers. Let me know your predictions down below in the comments. Let me know. If you agree with mine, let me know. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.